So, how is your week been, Anil? How are things been with you? Okay, great. So, welcome, Reza. Welcome to the How to Achieve Goals in My Life session. I'm sorry, How to Achieve Goals in Your Life session. Welcome. And we'll just wait for a few minutes for others to join. Till that time, let me go ahead and do some settings. Okay. Reza and Anil, please type in the chat box. Can you see my screen? Can you guys see my screen on which it is written how to achieve goals in life? Okay, great. Just a minute and we'll start the session. Okay, just give me a minute, guys. Okay. Okay. Welcome, Mumtaz. Welcome to the session. Let's begin the session now. Okay. First of all, let me thank you all for taking your precious time out on a Sunday afternoon and coming to attend the session. How to achieve goals in life. Most importantly, before we go and progress to the question, how to achieve goals in life, what is more important is to understand why you need to have goals in life. See, a person who has a goal in life has a destination, has a target, has got something to achieve. What does this mean? This means that if that individual has a goal, there is some kind of growth in his life. There will be some kind of a journey that he's going to go through, and there is something he wants to achieve. That means he will move forward in his life. If a person does not have a goal, then his life will be an absolute straight line. He is basically vegetating his life. If he has a goal, he is moving forward in his life. If he does not have a goal, then he is on a plateau. That's why it is very important to understand the question, why to have a goal. So great. So once you have a goal in life, you will have to take steps to achieve it. Most of the people in this world say, and all the successful people in the world say, dream big. And those people who are reading books will always know that every successful person says dream big, but nobody has a structure or a formula or something like that on the basis of which how to achieve that dream. I myself have read a lot of books when everywhere it is being said, dream big, but how to achieve it is the big question. It requires a lot of discipline, it requires process, and it requires action. That is the purpose of this session today. I am going to give you a small technique, a small structure through which you can use it to achieve your big dreams and big goals. First and foremost, and the most important thing to keep in mind, you will have to take a pen and a paper and write down your goal on the pen on the paper. Take that paper on which you have written the goal and stick it on a wall or a cupboard in your room. This might sound very childish. This might sound very silly as well, but it is one of the most important things that is required to remind you every day in the morning when you wake up from your bed and when you see that is your goal in front of your eyes. So the first step is to write down your goal on a piece of paper, stick it in your room, on a wall or a cupboard where you wake up in the morning and every morning you see that goal. That will give you the motivation that very day to work towards it. First step. The second step is the goal is big, but you have to break it into parts. For example, now let me take a very simple example. Let's say someone wants to lose 20 kgs. He wants to lose weight. He wants to lose 20 kgs. So how will he go about it? How will we go about it? You have to break down the entire 20 kgs into smaller targets. There are 3 steps of breaking down the entire goal. Your first is the immediate target. First is the immediate target. Your second is the intermediate target. And third is your final goal. Immediate target, intermediate target, and final goal. Your final goal is to go down 20 kgs. Now, in this, you have to be very calculative. How do we go about it? If someone wants to lose 20 kgs, first of all, you will have to put a deadline by when you want to achieve it. In order to break down the goal into smaller parts, you will have to keep a deadline. See, keeping a deadline is a skill and it is an art. Keeping a deadline is a skill and it is an art. Why I'm saying this is because if you keep your deadline very stiff, for example, if someone says, okay, I want to lose 20 kgs in 3 months, it is a very stiff target. So what will happen? That individual will be motivated for 10 to 15 days. And after that, he will find the goal too difficult to achieve and he will give up. If someone keeps a deadline, let's say, I want to reduce 20 kgs and I want to reduce it in 5 years. Now, this deadline is too easy. It is a very easy deadline. The individual is going to give up out of boredom. He will get bored about it. It's too easy. So a deadline is always taking you out of the comfort zone. It is making you stretch to achieve it, but also in your mind, you have to feel that it is achievable. So it is something in between. It's not in the extremes. It is not too easy. It is not too difficult. It is somewhere in between. So always keeping a deadline will be a very subjective thing. Give me a moment, please. Just give me a moment. All right. Can you guys hear me? Just type yes in the chat box if you can hear me. Anil, Reza, and Mumtaz, can you hear me? Please type yes in the chat box so we can go ahead and continue the session. Mumtaz says yes. Reza says yes. Okay. Okay, Anil. So great. We were on the point of keeping a deadline. Now, keeping a deadline is a very subjective thing. Why I'm saying it's a very subjective thing and it will change from person to person is because something which is out of my comfort zone and still achievable will not be the same for someone else. There is possible that someone else would feel something is more difficult for him and I might find it easy. It is possible that I might find something difficult and someone else might find it easy. So always keeping a deadline is a very subjective thing. You have to understand yourself. What is your limit, till where you can push yourself, and it's also acceptable to the mind that yes, this thing is achievable for me. So let me break it down into calculations. Let's say, for example, if an individual wants to lose 20 kgs, and this is keeping in mind me, so how will I go about it? Let's take a calculator. Okay. Let's take a calculator. Now, if someone asks me, one second, what is happening over here? Okay. So if I want to reduce 20 kgs, and if I take something which is going to be out of my comfort zone and acceptable to the mind. So let's do the simple calculation. 20 kgs, if I want to put it down in 12 months, the calculation comes up to 1.66. Now, for me, going 1.66 kg down every month sounds too easy. So this is something which I don't want to keep as my deadline. If I say I want to go down 20 kgs in 10 months, so that is 2 kgs a month. Still sounds easy. 2 kgs a month is pretty easy. I feel it's too easy. So I need to make it a little bit more difficult, where I go out of my comfort zone to push myself. Plus, it has to be acceptable that it is achievable. So if we calculate it, 20 kgs divided by 8 months. So I have to go down 2.5 kgs. Now this is sounding a little bit out of my comfort zone, 2.5 kgs a month. Plus it also seems achievable. It is sounding a little bit tough, but 2.5 I can go down in a month and it is achievable. Now this is your monthly target for 8 months. Now we have to divide into a big goal into smaller parts. The problem is people get caught up in this. People keep monthly targets and start working on it. There is a catch to it. You don't have to keep monthly targets. You actually got to keep weekly targets. So you have to divide this 2.5 divided by 4 weeks. So it is approximately 625 grams that I have to go per week. Always remember, if you want to achieve goals in life, you have to keep weekly targets. Why do I say that? Because once you keep a weekly target, you are living in the present moment, trying to achieve something by the weekend, before the weekend. So you will push yourself and you will achieve that small target. 625 grams will immediately get you into the present moment to work towards it and achieve it in 1 week. So this is your immediate target. As I said, there are 3 steps. First step is immediate target. Second step is intermediate target. Third is your final goal. So your weekly target is your immediate target. Your aim is to see that you do your exercise, you do your diet, and somehow achieve your weekly target. Once you do that, you will be on the road towards success. Once achieved in this first week, now let us go back to the PPT. So we have kept the deadline as 8 months for 20 kgs, broken it down to weekly target of 625 grams per week. Once you achieve your first week goal, you have to start tracking it. It is a very simple thing. You have to take a pen and a paper, write down your weight, which has gone down by 625 grams this week. You got to repeat the same thing again because you have achieved success in this week. Do that again for 1 more week. Your weight will go down by 625 more. Why? Because what you did last week was right. So you have to repeat the same thing again. And the second week, when you achieve the same thing, you have to write it down that the weight is gone by 625 grams. Once you write down, you are accountable. You are taking action. Once you have started achieving your weekly targets, and once you reach 2 months, that means 8 weeks are gone, you actually reach your intermediate target. That is your intermediate goal. Once you reach 2 months, that is your intermediate goal. Why am I saying that is your intermediate goal? It is very simple. 8 months and you divide it by 4, that are breaking into 4 parts, 2, 4, 6. So once you reach 2 months and you reach your intermediate goal, this is where you have to give yourself some kind of a reward or some kind of a gift, because you have reached your first parao, as to be said. Why I'm saying give yourself some kind of gift? Because at that time you would be round about 5 kgs down in your weight. What kind of a gift you can give? You can buy some new good clothes for yourself to see how you look in those clothes. That will give you additional motivation to go for another 2 months. Basically, what I'm trying to say is your big goal has to be broken into smaller parts. Weekly target will be your most important immediate target. Once you reach 2 months, that is your intermediate target. You have to give yourself a reward, some kind of a gift. Once you reach 4 months, again, you have to reward yourself. Once you reach 6 months, again, you have to reward yourself. And once you reach 8 months, you have achieved your final goal. This is the process of achieving goals in life. It might sound very simple, but this is the truth. You can use this not only in reducing weight, you can use this in if you want to grow your business. You can use this in any goal that you want to achieve in life. Keep a big dream, break it into smaller parts, take the pen and paper, write down your goal, stick it in your room so that every morning you can see it and keep weekly targets. This was the main discussion that I wanted to have with you all. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the room for discussion amongst ourselves. We can discuss on the topic that we have on which I've spoken today. You have any questions, you can ask me any questions or type it in the chat box. Just a moment, let me just go and go to the chat box. Yeah, please go ahead and ask any questions or we'd like to have any discussion. If you want to talk on the mic, you can talk on the mic. If you want to just type it in the chat box, you can type it in the chat box. Please go ahead. Or if you have any goal in life, your own goal, which you like to share how to achieve it, I will help you out with that as well. Mumtaz, Reza, and Anil, please go ahead and type your questions in the chat box. Or if you want to come on video and ask a question or audio, you can do that as well. Any questions, any discussion, please go ahead. Please go ahead and ask any questions that you have. No questions? If there are no questions, that is also fine. Just type in the chat box, no questions, so that I can go ahead and conclude the meeting. If there are no questions, just type it in the chat box. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I would just like to go ahead. I would just like to go ahead and I would like to invite you all to a WhatsApp group that I have created. The name of that WhatsApp group is Motivation with Amin. I am going to send you all the link on your mobile numbers, as well as if I will send you all the link on your mobile numbers. You all can go ahead and join my group. It's called Motivation with Amin, and you can also visit my website digitallyAmin.com, on which I post new videos. Along with that, I'm also blogging, so you can go ahead and read the stuff that I write. I really appreciate the time that you all have taken out. Thank you very much for coming and attending my session. And anytime, if you have any questions, you all can go ahead and post in the WhatsApp group. Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Mumtaz. And thank you, Reza. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless you.